crazy kids, welcome to episode 2 of Cocktails with Sabrina Marie. Today we're going to be focusing on the Manhattan. We're doing this to honor all the medical workers in the city of New York that are fighting the good fight right now. Cheers guys, we appreciate all you do. When it comes to a Manhattan, I believe that there are good drinks and there are bad drinks, and often they're made out of the same ingredients. If you've ever had a really good Manhattan, then you know that a really bad Manhattan tastes like watered down spicy bourbon, or whiskey, or rye. The trick to a good Manhattan is all about balance and technique. You want to stir your Manhattan. The golden rule behind the bar is if a cocktail is spirits only, you're going to stir it, but as soon as you add any kind of juice, dairy, or eggs, you want to shake it to completely emulsify the cocktail. The Manhattan was one of the very first vermouth-based cocktails beside the traditional martini. The addition of vermouth into cocktails was one of the first moves to really start blending drinks and crafting cocktails. Alright, so the history of the Manhattan, it is a drink that is native to New York. It was invented by a man named Black in the 1860s. There are two men with the last name of Black that were bar owners in this area, according to the New York business records. The first one was a man named John Black who owned a saloon on 130th Street in the 1860s, and the other was a gentleman named George Black who owned the Manhattan Inn at 493 Broadway from 1874 to 1881. And it said one of these men was actually the original inventor of the Manhattan cocktail. When it comes down to the ingredients of a Manhattan, the best way to remember what you're doing is to follow the Manhattan area code, which is 212. You're going to use 2 ounces of whiskey, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Some people like to substitute bourbon for the rye. The big difference between bourbon and rye is bourbon is going to be made with a 51% corn mash, making it richer and sweeter with a fuller mouth feel, while rye is going to be 51% rye in the mash, and it's going to have a crisp, spicy sharpness, which plays really nicely in a traditional Manhattan. I prefer rye in mine for that reason. Alright, so when it comes to Manhattan, one of the most important things you're going to want to do is stir your Manhattan. I'm going to start with my mixing glass here. Put a little bit of ice in there for you. I went ahead and measured out my bourbon and my vermouth, so we're just going to pour those right in there together. And it's not bourbon, it's rye. It's okay. And then we're going to do 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. When it comes to a stirred cocktail, you typically want to stir for about 30 seconds. When you are stirring the cocktail, you don't want to go longer because you don't want to water down the cocktail, and you want to give the whiskey just enough time to bloom. I always like to sing a song so I know about how long I'm going. So today we're gonna sing Start Spreading the News. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. So that's about 30 seconds. Your Manhattan's going to be garnished with a maraschino cherry. When I'm at home, I use a Luxardo or a Toshi. However, we're here and I have maraschino, so that's what we're going to use. So we're now going to strain this into a pretty little coupe. And with peace, love, and a strong buzz, make yourself a drink.